I stumbled upon an extraordinary opportunity through the online job platform Indeed, a chance that would redefine the course of my life in ways I never could have imagined. It was a peculiar night shift position, offering a staggering $2,000 per night, but the task at hand was unlike any other: to provide oversight and companionship to the ashes of a deceased woman. The revelation of such a role came at a critical juncture in my life, amidst the backdrop of impending nuptials with my beloved partner, Celine, and the looming financial strain that accompanied the wedding preparations. The genesis of this surreal journey began with a seemingly innocuous phone call from a mysterious caller, shrouded in the anonymity of a no-caller ID. Little did I know that this chance conversation would propel me into a labyrinthine world fraught with intrigue and uncertainty. The voice on the other end belonged to Damien, a figure cloaked in professionalism yet exuding an unsettling aura that belied the gravity of the situation. His proposition, delivered with an almost hypnotic cadence, offered a glimmer of financial salvation amidst the tumult of economic uncertainty. With a mixture of trepidation and desperate determination, I embarked on a journey that led me to a secluded care home nestled in the tranquil embrace of a gated community. The facade of normalcy that greeted me at the entrance belied the enigmatic nature of the establishment and the secrets it harbored. Within its walls, guided by Damien's cryptic instructions, I navigated the intricacies of my newfound role, grappling with a set of rules that hinted at the unearthly nature of my nocturnal duties. As the nights unfolded, I found myself ensnared in a web of inexplicable phenomena and spectral encounters that defied rational explanation. The cries that echoed through the empty corridors, the eerie tapping of unseen footsteps, and the ghostly apparitions that flickered at the periphery of my vision, all served to unravel the fabric of my sanity. Despite my best efforts to rationalize the inexplicable occurrences, I found myself teetering on the brink of madness, consumed by a sense of existential dread that threatened to engulf me entirely. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, I made the decision to sever ties with the haunting confines of the care home, driven by an instinctual urge to preserve my dwindling sanity at all costs. The act of relinquishing the promise of financial gain paled in comparison to the imperative of safeguarding my mental well-being in the face of relentless spectral torment. With a heavy heart and a palpable sense of relief, I bid farewell to the oppressive atmosphere that had ensnared me, setting forth on a journey of self-discovery and redemption. Yet, the specter of my haunting ordeal refused to be exorcised so easily, manifesting itself in a series of inexplicable encounters that followed me into the recesses of my everyday life. Ghostly apparitions and spectral manifestations haunted my waking hours, casting a pall of unease over even the most mundane of tasks. It was as though the boundaries between the tangible world and the realm of the supernatural had blurred, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty and existential despair. In a desperate bid to reclaim a semblance of normalcy, amidst the chaos, I embarked on a pilgrimage to fulfill the final wish of the woman whose ashes I had watched over with trepidation and awe. Guided by an innate sense of purpose, I journeyed to a distant beach where the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide offered solace amidst the tumult of my haunted existence. With trembling hands and a heart heavy with emotion, I scattered the ashes of Mems, Ferguson, into the boundless expanse of the ocean, offering a final farewell to a tormented soul. As the ashes dispersed upon the gentle currents of the sea, I felt a profound sense of catharsis wash over me, lifting the weight of spectral torment that had plagued my existence for so long. In that moment of release, I found a measure of peace amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness that had threatened to consume me whole. The echoes of my haunting ordeal lingered in the recesses of my consciousness. The act of granting Miss Moss Ferguson peace afforded me a semblance of closure amidst the chaos, heralding the dawn of a new chapter in my tumultuous journey through the realms of the unknown. Mackenzie was the driving force behind our camping trip. It seemed like every adventure we embarked on was sparked by one of her ideas. Though neither of us were hardcore outdoorsy types, growing up in rural areas had given us a taste for hiking and fishing, so when Mackenzie pitched the idea of spending a few days in the woods, I wasn't exactly thrilled, but I wasn't dreading it either. After a grueling semester of midterms, the thought of a break was tempting, even if it meant trading my bed for a sleeping bag. But Mackenzie wasn't one to settle for just lounging around. She'd been hyping up this camping trip for weeks, and I couldn't keep dodging her invitations. When spring break finally arrived, I ran out of excuses. Mackenzie had everything planned out. tailored to my preferences, so on a Sunday morning we hit the road. Despite being dragged out of bed before dawn, I found myself surprisingly cheerful after a day of indulging in food and naps. This was the most restful I'd felt since Christmas. We drove up from Bakersfield, the desert sunrise casting a golden glow on Mackenzie's truck. We chatted about school and our destination, a secluded spot in the Sierra Nevada forest that Mackenzie had scouted out. It wasn't your typical campground. It was dispersed camping, meaning we'd register a permit and set up wherever we pleased. No amenities, just raw nature. Leave it to Mackenzie to take things to the extreme. As we ventured deeper into the mountains, Mackenzie pointed out landmarks near Sequoia National Park and Kings Canyon. Eventually, we turned onto a trail leading us further into the wilderness. Mackenzie had scoped out a hidden gem, a valley with a lake, that she was eager to show me. We hiked for about half an hour, packs laden with supplies. Mackenzie's meticulous planning ensured we had everything we needed for a few days off the grid. Crossing a stream on a submerged log, we laughed off the minor mishap, eager to reach our destination. When we arrived at the lakeside clearing, it was breathtaking. Surrounded by mountains, the tranquil lake beckoned us to unwind. We pitched our tents, hung up wet clothes, and Mackenzie started a fire for lunch. It was idyllic, a stark contrast to our hectic student lives. As the sun set, we planned to turn in early to explore the area at sunrise. But my peaceful slumber was shattered by an inexplicable feeling of dread. Something was off, but I couldn't pinpoint what. Mackenzie's urgent whisper roused me from my tent, her fear palpable. Without hesitation, I followed her into the darkness. What ensued was a harrowing chase through the forest. Mackenzie's cryptic warnings fueled my terror as we fled deeper into the woods. But as dawn approached, she abruptly halted, her demeanor shifting. Her words took on an otherworldly quality, weaving tales of an enchanted realm beyond the trees. Despite her mesmerizing stories, I refused to succumb to the forest's lure. As Mackenzie vanished into the shadows, I made a desperate dash for safety. Reaching the truck felt like a victory, but the memory of that night still haunts me. Mackenzie's lifeless body, discovered in the lake, served as a grim reminder of the forest's malevolent grip. Whatever dwells within those woods, it preys on human desires and fears, tempting us with false promises of eternal bliss. But beneath its enchanting facade lies a darkness that consumes all who dare to venture too close. And as I drive away from those cursed mountains, I vow never to return to that forest of whispers and shadows. It all kicked off with a weekend getaway plan, just me, Emma, and Jake seeking refuge from the hustle and bustle in the heart of the wilderness. Emma, with her captivating presence and those piercing blue eyes, insisted on this secluded spot, promising us an untouched haven of tranquility. The first night was pure magic stories under the stars, laughter bouncing off the trees, and that infectious joy Emma brought to every moment. But dawn brought a chilling revel in. Our camp raided, traps set like something out of a survival nightmare. Jake, bewildered, inspected the scene while Emma and I exchanged nervous glances. It wasn't long before we realized this was no harmless prank. Panic set in as we attempted to flee, only to find the forest itself seemed determined to keep us trapped. It was when we split up that things truly took a dark turn. Alone, I stumbled upon evidence of a twisted game, a hidden camera live streaming our ordeal to an audience hungry for terror. The shock peaked when I found Emma, her once radiant demeanor now chillingly composed as she revealed the sick truth behind our nightmare. It was all for the views, our terror, a mere spectacle for online voyeurs. Desperate to escape, I confronted her, but her grip on reality had slipped. Consumed by the twisted allure of online fame, in a moment of clarity I pleaded with her to put an end to the madness, but her descent into darkness was irreversible, so with Jake injured and Emma lost to her delusions, our struggle for survival became a race against time. Hours of frantic wandering led us back to civilization, but the scars of that harrowing experience lingered long after. Emma's fall from grace served as a sobering reminder of the dangers lurking behind the allure of online fame. Her descent into madness, fueled by the insatiable appetite of internet audiences, left a trail of devastation in its wake. As for me, I vowed never to return to those haunted woods, haunted not by ghosts, but by the specter of our own misguided desires. And though Emma's chapter in my life closed with that fateful ordeal, the lessons learned remain etched in my memory, a cautionary tale for those tempted by the fleeting promise of online stardom. If these stories have captured your imagination and left you wanting more, be sure to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your engagement fuels the creation of future content. Thank you for being part of this journey.